Hi, everybody. Good morning. How are you? Thought I'd come on. I have some downtime right now where I can create a little bit. I thought I'd come on, say hi to you, explain what's going on right now in my art journal, and chat with y'all. See how you guys are all been. Hi, Serena. Have you moved, Serena? Hey, you closed on your house today, don't ya? All right, fix my camera a little bit. So, good morning, good morning. So I'm going to just do a quick little layout. I have an hour before I have to wake up my husband, and he has to start his day. We are, how do I put this? Scott's dad is on the final stage of his life. It's the best way I can put it. And it's kind of like we're on a time clock, a time limit or something. But Scott took leave from work. He's on something from work that he can't lose his job for medical reasons with his dad. His sister's here, and we're all taking turns with sitting with dad. He can't be left alone anymore at all since last Thursday. So it's been tough, very tough. And that's what we've been dealing with. And have a little time today to just some art journaling, which I enjoy, and it decompresses. Can just sit back and create and not be stressed, kind of, I guess. So I thought, I will be picking the winner on Friday, but there will be no prompts because right now, with everything going on Friday, we're going to temporarily take a pause on TNT Mixmedia because my days are up and down and all the way around. With me just getting over being sick, and now this with Scott's dad, there's a lot on our plates. So it's fun. I love the art journaling. It relaxes me. Sometimes I think that page out, other times I just create. Like right now, I'm just going to create. I don't know where it's going to take me. Oops, I got to get my paper. Yeah, but me and Scott have been, not that you prepare for it, but you get what I'm saying. So, but now that it's in effect, I guess you could put it, it wears you out. It can wear you very thin. My husband, he looks like a Mack truck ran him over. He finally actually, instead of sleeping in a chair, he looked at his sister last night because she's going home today. She's supposed to be back tonight, but you never know. Something in between may happen. Um, that he came home and showered, and this called his sister and said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed here for a few hours, and let me know. Call, because we're like only 6 houses away. She's there right now, so this guy's been doing most of the legwork." So I'm gonna do a blue page background. We'll go from there. It's tough. It's tough seeing a loved one, this person you love, just deteriorate in front of you. And we've been watching him deteriorate in front of us for a while. Now it's just really, really, really bad. I did get him to eat a little bit more yesterday, so that was a good sign. Hi, Kaya, Christine. But there's no guarantees. No guarantee. No guarantee. So yeah. The man still got this sense of humor, though, I'll tell you. It's funny. He's cracks me up. I decided to take a coffee break. That's not good. That's good. We all need them. I don't drink coffee. I take a Pepsi break. Diamond and I are going to Barnes and Noble today. We have bought my father-in-law, because we didn't know what to get him for Christmas, Father's Day, So we bought him gift cards to Barnes and Noble. Well, guess who didn't use the gift cards to Barnes and Noble? So he gave them back to me a few weeks ago. And Diamond also pitched money in on them. So I didn't feel it was right for me to just keep them because we all pitched in. Sorry, I missed. Sorry, pitched in to buy them. So he had $140 worth. I did get his Stephen King book a few weeks ago, and then he handed him, and I said, "Here's what's left, Dad." It was sorry, $80. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. So he handed them back to me and told me to keep them. So I was telling Diamond, I'm sorry. Whoa. Where did that come from? But I was telling Diamond because she also gave money. We all put it on a gift card. So I was telling Diamond about it today, this morning. And we're going to we're going to stop by Dad's today. 1 second, please. Sorry about that. Ugh. I'll tell you, I don't know where that came from. But so we're gonna stop down by Dad today. Which after she gets here. Oh, excuse me. And we're gonna find out what his favorite children book was. We know his favorite author. We never discussed his favorite children. So we're gonna go see what his favorite children's book is. And we're gonna go buy each one of the kids that book. Riley, Coda, and Allie. And do a little memorial thing. I know he's still here, but he doesn't want to see the grands. He doesn't want them to see him how he is right now, and they're having a kind of difficult time. Why go see Double G is what they call him. So we're gonna go buy his favorite book and just write a little message in there about him, and Diamond's gonna give it to the kids from Double G, and they can always have that from him. And go from there. I thought that was a neat idea when she came up with that, because so we're gonna do that today. I mean, just take a break, get out of the house a little bit. I needed this to get how do I put it? Just to walk around a store and not have the constant worry of my father-in-law in my mind, I guess. And when I was talking to Diamond, and I was telling her about the gift card, she came up with this idea. And it's not like we'll be gone long, just decompress a little bit. Because me and Scott having long few days. And we're taking little shifts. And tonight, probably be taking one. Him and I together. Hello. Isn't that a neat idea? I thought it was too when she came up with that. Because he didn't use them. Gave them back to us because we bought them, as was his philosophy was. You guys bought them, so he handed them all back to me. And I'm sitting here with, Barnes & Noble gift cards don't expire, because I asked that when I went and bought his. One of them was from 2018. Hello, Athena. So I asked when I went and got a Stephen King book, I hope these are still good. Some are from like 2018. He had like the last 3 years of Barnes & Noble cards. Nope, they're still good. So, excuse me. So I'm sitting on $76 worth of. I was on 140, but I got 2 magazines when I was there, and then his Stephen King book, and I'm still sitting on $76 worth of Barnes & Noble. And just in conversation this morning with Diamond, I was, by the way, it's one of those things. By the way, you remember what you gave Grandpa, how much you gave Grandpa? I wasn't really worried. I just, but she's like, why? I said, he gave me all the gift cards back 2 weeks ago. And then I got sick. And I totally forgot, and I was cleaning up. I dropped my purse, and everything fell out of my purse in the living room this morning. I'm like, oh my God, I have the Barnes cards. That's kind of dawned on my head this morning. And then it made me think to mention that to Diamond, because I forgot to mention it. And then she came up with that idea again, a book, because they aren't understanding my grandchildren aren't understanding why they can't come and see great grandpa. Great grandpa's sick, and he doesn't want you guys to see him like that. He wants you to remember him healthy and well, and giving you M&Ms and throwing the ball from the picnic table out in the yard. And like I used to laugh so hard because Riley, when she was like, even all of them actually, he couldn't like chase the ball with them like he did with the grandkids. But the great grandkids, they'd get the ball and he'd throw it in the yard and they'd run and get it and bring it back to him like they were little dogs, you know. And they can't understand. And then when they come to my house, they'd always have to run down and say hi to Double G because he's only 6 houses away from me. So we'd call and they'd run down there and go sit and visit him for a little bit. Or if I made like a dinner plate, they would take turns to walk it down, or we'd all walk it down to him. So they're having a little struggle. We didn't know how to tell him that he's on his last days of his life. It's hard. As an adult, we can handle it, but how do you handle it as a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 5-year or 6-year-old? So Diamond and Sam kind of sat him down last night because they knew something was up. Because Coda was supposed to be here this weekend, and he couldn't come. And I told him, I said, Double G's sick, man. It has to help Papa. The Double G. So that's what they call him, is Double G. And then they kept, asking and asking. So Diamond and Sam kind of sat them all down and told them last night. Right away, can we go see him and make him feel better? Yeah. The answer out of the mouths of my grandkids. Can we go see him? Because we can make him feel better. No. But that's what's going on in my life. So if you don't see me too often and you're wondering where I am, that's what I'm dealing with. Like right now, I'm decompressing because I have the time right at the moment. I can sit back and do an art journal page before my day starts at 9 o'clock, 9:30. But the next few days, it's going to be tough. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing my father-in-law's favorite colors. Is blues and this neon green, but I have to go over the neon green one more time. And I don't know where it's going to take me. I really don't. I really don't. Actually going to put the neon green up. He likes this neon green, so I decided to put a lighter green on top and then come in with the neon color of the green on top of that. Kind of helps that color along a little bit. get my coloring books ready because tonight I'm on night duty. Oh, I got a piece of hair. My own hair. And I'm going to Hobby Lobby. I guess I want to check out the clearance because there's diamond wants to go get something at Hobby Lobby. I don't know what it is. I'm like, good. I wanted to go there for a couple anyways, and I just didn't want to ask Scott with everything going on. I know what I want. I think I got some. I just have to find them. And I don't have one. That one is not what I want. That one I want. Oh, there we go. Time after time. As well. Oh. But this is while ago and I have yet to use it, so good time. I know my clocks are probably in the wrong direction. I just realized that. But anyway. Yeah. So I now know better. But you're excited, Sabrina. You have to do a walk, a virtual tour of your new house after you get settled. How many bedrooms is your house? Did you get a craft room? Hi, Steph. Oops, I did. Three bedroom? Oh, you got a craft space. I get an area. That's awesome. There you go. Oh. I would need my space. Hi, Scrappy Dana. Hello, Dana. I'm just going to put some hands in here. Just real quick. There's no rhyme or reason where I'm putting them. Oh, hang on. Oh. Ooh, ow. Ouch. I'm answering my daughter-in-law. She had a procedure yesterday. All right, just going to stick a different direction. Just for the effect. All right. All right. Okay. There we go. I'm sorry. I got a lot going on in my life right now. Chantel had a procedure that could have been a cancerous mole. Now they're going to run all the tests to see if it may be or not. And it ended up being more than what they expected to do it. I tell you, 2023 is not starting on as a good year for me. I know we're going into March, but I'm done already, okay? I'm just done with the 2023 year. Like, you know, it's how I feel at the moment. And you know, life and death is part of life. But see your father-in-law wither away in front of your eyes is not pleasant, or anybody for that matter. And it's exhausting. It takes a lot out of you. You know, you're not. How do I put this? It's not like you're doing a lot. Hydro, you know, you're helping him get up, you're helping him eat, you're helping him lay down when he wants to go to sleep, and then it's the time in between when you're just sitting in the living room or at the kitchen table and you're listening to a baby monitor, and every time he coughs, you sit there and you pause for a few seconds, and then you get up and go check on him. You know, that's what we're dealing with right now, and it's exhausting. Hospice is coming in today at 2:00 to set up a plan. I have to be there for that because this could be weeks, it could be in months. We don't know, you know. We don't know. So I'm going to be there. That was something Scott made, because Scott makes all medical decisions on Dad. And that was a decision Scott made, that I would be in tune on that aspect. So just in case I'm sitting down there and knock on the door and I'm like, who the hell is this? That I know the procedures of how hospice handles things, what their protocol, all that kind of stuff. So I'm not sitting there going, who the hell is this person that wants to come in this house? You know what I get? You know what I mean? So we have that at 2 or 3, I think he told me. Today. But and good morning, Joe. If I didn't say it before, I can't remember if I did or didn't. So let's celebrate the fact that Sabrina's buying a house today. A new beginning for her, Jamie, and Zach. Mm-hmm. Well, right now Scott's sleeping. He came home last night about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, took a shower, called his sister and back and said, I'm going to stay home and sleep. You're with Dad. She's going home tonight. Her plans are to be back tonight. But Scott told her, why don't you just spend the night with your family tonight? Tina and I'll handle it up here. And you don't have to be in a rush to go get this paperwork that she's getting so she can take a leave from work. So she said she might do that. Come up back tomorrow instead of tonight. And Scott and I will be there all night tonight. Yep, I know that. I know I can. And so Scott's sleeping. I have to get him up at 9. I got a half an hour chill with you ladies. I just felt like decompressed, just chilling and doing a page in my art journal and talking to y'all, letting you guys know if you don't see me. When people are like, hey, where's Tina? You can kind of out in a nice way, tell them that my father-in-law is at the end of his life. It's the best way I can put it. And I'm probably, because the way Scott and I work, because we didn't know Scott. I mean, he gets 12 weeks of leave. And we have money set aside. So we don't have to worry about losing our house, not paying our bills, But if we get told, if he doesn't, because he's deteriorating, but he's not deteriorating fast. Does that make sense? So Scott took this week, and then we're going to determine if next week, we're playing it by ear. If he'll go back to work, and then, because there's no guarantee when my father-in-law is going to pass away. Okay? I can't say, oh yeah, he'll be gone by Friday. So this is the plan that Scott and I came up with. That, because he can slowly linger, that's how we've been informed. That Scott may go back to work in a week or so, save some of the time till it's like the really end part, I guess I want to say, of his life. And I will be doing the night shift. Scott's foster sister, because like Annette said, yeah, we got money put aside, but it could be 6 months. You don't know. Um, that I want to use up all the time. Say I would have. This is my approach. Okay, I get taken like next few days. Because it's the beginning stages. And then like Nick go back to work 1 week. Scott goes back to work the next week, depending how it works. So they're both not taking all this time leave from work all at the same time. That didn't, but that's not up to me. Yeah, I would have kind of split it between the two of them. That both of them were off at the same time, and also it would give the person a break. Like Scott would do 2 weeks, she would come up and do 2 weeks. Give up, you know what I mean? Like I don't know how to explain that better. Yep. Exactly, Joe. Yeah. I mean, his body's weak, but his mind's not. Yeah. I mean, he's still conscious. He's still talking. He's still fighting me to eat a little bit. So it's one of those kind of deals. It's not like we're calling a funeral home to say, oh, by the way, I told Scott he ain't going out fast. He wants to go, but he ain't going out fast. I'm listening to him talk to me. He thinks he had a stroke because you can tell. And this is where I think he should have been seen by a doctor, but hospice coming today. So I think he's in the early stages of Alzheimer's. And the reason I say that, or the dementia, or when he decided the last 3 weeks that the thing is he needs oxygen. He needs to keep it on 24/7 hours a day. But he got it in his head once he got his numbers up back in the 90s, it's okay to take it off. But then he skyrockets right away. So I was looking things up. That will affect his brain. It will mess up with his brain cells and all that because of lack of oxygen. And that's what Scott and I have been seeing. But now that's when we said somebody's got to be there, because I watched him one day. I told Scott, I watched your dad through the window. He put his oxygen on for me. I sat there for a couple hours with him. And I decided, it's okay, Dad, I'm going to head her home. He said goodbye to me. And as soon as I was out the door, I watched him. He took it right off. Came back in the house. It's like I said to Scott, I'm dealing with an overgrown toddler. Scott was at work. Because he thinks, oh, my numbers are in the 90s. I can take this off now. Well, I think him doing that has affected his process of thinking. Because, like yesterday, he told me he had a stroke. And I'm like, Dad, I don't think you had a stroke, because if you had a stroke, you wouldn't be where you talk in your, there's signs of a stroke. And yeah, but he's telling me he had a stroke yesterday, and he didn't have a stroke. That's why he doesn't understand. And the reason I said, why do you think you had a stroke? Well, the way I'm acting, he says. And I'm like, the reason you're acting the way you're acting is because you keep taking your oxygen off and you keep messing with your head. I mean, he was at that one day I went down there when he called me, he was at 55%. That's not good. And he was, then in the conversation, me and Scott were having with him, he was like that for 2 days. And of course, it's the 2 days that, we were constantly checking on him by phone. And that's when me and Scott, I said, I guess no more over the phone to see how he's doing. I said, we're going to have to go there every day. And check, every day. One of us is going to, and this all came in conversation in the last 3 weeks. And of course, I get sick. That I couldn't be there every day because I was going to go there every day. Sit there all day. Well, and that affected him and he's referring to Diamond as Tina, Annette as Tina. That kind of hurt Annette a little bit, but thing is, I said to Annette, he doesn't realize because I said I didn't know how to say to her. She hasn't seen her dad since Christmas. That's 2 months ago, and before that, she didn't see him for 4 months. Me and Scott are the constant in this man's life. So he's going to go through these stages where he's confused. And that's not my fault, and that's not Scott's fault. I mean, I'm one of these, you could fault time to come up and have a better relationship with your dad in the last few years. But yeah, there'd be months that he wouldn't see his daughter. But when he called Diamond me 4 or 5 times yesterday, Diamond, she helped Scott put Grandpa to bed last night. And she came out of the room just bawling. Mommy didn't know who I was. He kept calling me you. It's hard. It's a lot to take in. He's hoping, and he keeps telling Scott and I this every chance he gets, that he wants to lay down, go to bed, and not wake up. And I said to him, I pray for that for you for Dad. I told Dad, I pray for that to happen because that's what you want. I said, and that sounds bad to be praying for that, but I mean, I don't want him to suffer anymore. And he's not himself. He's weak. I mean, yeah, his pulse is good, his blood pressure is good, everything's good on him. It's just his body's falling apart around him. But his body doesn't want to stop. Does that make sense? So tells me that every day. And our joke is his joke to me is, I got the paper. He gets the Sunday paper every Sunday. So I went and got it for him yesterday or Sunday, and he asked me to stay away this weekend so he could be with his children, which I'm like, okay. So I stayed away, but he said I could come back on Monday. So as soon as I was able to come back, I went back. And he says to me, he's sitting there with the paper in front of him. He can't read it at the moment. He's got this look in his eye, like, I know, it's distant look in his eye. And he says, I was able to read a little bit of the paper, Tina. I'm like, oh, okay, good, Dad. And he goes, and I went to the obituaries. And I'm like, oh, okay. He goes, your aunt's in there, because my great aunt died this past week. And I'm like, okay. So he goes, make sure you take that out. And I'm like, yep, I know. He goes, and I'm not in there either, so I can't figure out why I'm not in there. I'm like, oh my God, Dad. Why am I in there? I go, because you're not supposed to be in there yet, I guess. Oh, he goes, he gets frustrated that he's not in the obituary. He's like, oh my God. You too, Dad. Yep, that's his thought process. Why ain't I in there? He says to me. I'm like, I guess you're not supposed to be in there yet. Well, I'll be in there, he says. Well, I can arrange that before it happens. And we go on our merry way, and I change the subject. You hungry? Now he's trying to feed me. I said, because you don't eat. But either way, come spring, we just got snow off the Yang Yang the last 3 days. Either way, Scott and I will be moving down there in the coming months here. Because, like I told Scott, his vitals are spot on. They're spot on. His vitals, I said, yeah, his body's falling apart, his mind's going away, but his vitals, they're not changing. So I said, I personally that we're going to be in for the long run here. So to make life easier on me and Scott, we told his sister we're moving in the spring if Dad's still around when we're moving in. She's like, okay, she's on board. She's not gonna fight it. I think she's realized she doesn't have a choice with her brother. And she's raising 2 grandkids. She's like, because she's taking a leave from work, but she's like, she can't. We don't know how long this is. It's, all right. So, I think that looks cool. So this week is about getting everything arranged and work out the little details, all that. He's gone down fast, but he's not gone down fast. I don't know how to word that better than that. He thinks he's going to be gone tomorrow, and I don't see that. He's telling everybody where his funeral, because he planned his funeral already. It's paid for. He's got a file folder with all the stuff in it, all that. He got that out, made sure that Scott and Annette had that, even had his own music picked out, whole 9 yards. I knew that for years. Annette didn't know he did that. I'm like, oh yeah. Made sure they were aware where that was. Yeah. And then the next minute, he's down a different road. But so what's everybody else been doing? We got a lot of snow the last 3 days. I'm grateful for my son-in-law. I asked if he could come over and snowblow Grandpa's driveway and our driveway and give Dad, because my husband looks like he got hit by a Mack truck since Thursday. Since Scott found him in the bathroom and he was sitting, he couldn't get up from the toilet, and he was sitting on it for 4 hours. He didn't bring the phone in with him. That's when Scott said no more. He couldn't be alone anymore. So Scott's been there since Thursday, rarely sleeping. And then he had to take me to the chiropractor on Friday. So a friend of ours came over and sat with Dad while we went to the chiropractor. Then I suggested getting a baby monitor because Scott wanted to step outside. He could take the baby monitor. So, and I needed a new pillow from the chiropractor. Did that. Got a hold of his sister. Got it. I mean, it was a busy Friday. Scott made him a doctor's appointment. Well, now he doesn't want to leave the house. So we can't get him to leave the house. He's want to go outside. You know. So hospice is coming today. And I don't know, something about his doctor said he may make a house call. They have that procedure. So that's being planned out. After the hospice come in, evaluate him, and then determine if the doctor should come to the house, because he doesn't want to go. He won't go to the hospital. He won't go to the emergency room. They'll just put an IV in me and pump me up with fluids, and I don't want that. Yeah. That's what my husband's been dealing with. Can't make them. Thing is, you can't force it. Scott's in charge of medical, but Dad's still conscious. Yep. It's a tricky game until he's determined by a professional that he can't make the medical decisions for himself. Scott's hands are tied. And that's where today's appointment with hospice will come into effect. She will evaluate and determine, and then from there we'll know more. I'm glad they have. I've come to realize in this situation that they have these programs. We're going through one called Unity. It's called Unity. He went with that one because that's the one that him and Scott got for Mom. So that's who he's going through, is Unity. And they called Scott, talked to Scott a little yesterday. Because I'm thinking, what would a family do in a situation like this if you don't have these, you know? They're even going to put them up with Meals on Wheels so me and Scott don't have to worry about cooking. I thought that was kind of cool too. They'll like soups or whatever. I don't know exactly, but I remember Jeffy had that when Scott's buddy Jeff had cancer, and they came and brought him meals. And they'll set that up even if we can't get him to eat it. I mean, I can barely get him to eat now. He just living in applesauce. I did get him to eat a sub yesterday because I got a sub sandwich for Scott and I. And I said, Dad, would you like a chunk of sub? Yes, please. And he got all excited. Is there any onions on it? I said, no. And tomato, I'm like, no, I didn't get the one with the veggie on. Well, I got an onion in the fridge where you cut some onion up on there. You had 2 chunks about this big of the sub. So I was pleased with that. Scott says, Scott doesn't, and even Annette noticed this. They don't know how I do it, but I can get him to eat more than they can. And I'm like, I don't know. I said, I don't know. So, because Scott says he's ate more, and then he had his soup he wanted. He had probably a good 6-7 spoons full of his soup yesterday with me too. And that sub, and then a piece of toast. And then on Saturday before Annette got here, I got to eat some applesauce and his Ensure and a molasses cookie and a piece of toast, half a piece of toast, and a peanut butter sandwich too. So I don't know how I'm getting them to eat more than they can. I don't know. Probably I said to Scott, when it comes to you and Annette, he's got so much he wants to say to you two that he doesn't worry about eating, where he doesn't have much to say to me. Because it's all about, this is what needs to be done. And you guys got to do this. That's his whole conversation with his son and daughter. He's so focused on that. I just texted a while ago, he's still sleeping. So, because I told Annette, I'll come down. I said, after he doesn't want to eat right away. So it's about an hour to 2 after he gets up. I said, and I'll come down and I'll get him to eat. Because I said, and I'm the one that said, you know what? I think that, and that's my philosophy. I told Scott, I think the reason I can get him to eat is he's got such an agenda with you and Annette to get things in order and get things done and do this for him, and I am not part of that. Because once they sit down in front of him, it's about I call it all about business with them. Where when I sit down in front of them, there's no business to be had. And it's just, and the thing is he's repeating everything to Scott and Annette that he has already told them. He's not realizing that. And things are in order. He's had things put in order for years, so he doesn't understand it. They don't have to go through that, but they let him do it. And I think that's why I can get him to eat more, because he has no focus and no to tell me, hey, this has got to be done. Did you find this? Did you get this out? Did you have this out? And so on and so on. So I think that's what it is. And the fact that there's nothing he needs to tell me that I need to do except take care of his son. That's what he's kept saying. Make sure you take care of Scott. I'm like, oh yeah, Dad, I will. Make sure those grandchildren of mine are taken care of. And my great-grands, he says, they brought a lot of joy to my life. I'm going to miss them kids. I'm going to miss those little rugrats running on down the road to get... See, it's funny. He makes them count M&Ms to their age. And then he doubles Riley's. Because Allie would get 13, Coda would get 10, and Riley would only get 6. And she didn't think it was fair. So they'd have to count out 22 M&Ms. And I don't know why he was stuck on the number 22, but and pretty much every time they were here, we'd call and then I'd say the kids want to come down and get their M&Ms at. Okay, I'll get them out. So that started with Allie a long time ago. That was an Allie story. The M&Ms. Cute. That looks pretty cool. Well, guys, I'm going to call it a day. I have to get Scott up. It's 9 o'clock. And I'll show you what picture or stamp I'm going to color and put on there. And then I'm going to have to call it a morning and start my day. And see where the day takes me. I'm going to stamp for? I haven't decided. I'll let you guys decide. Who's still here? Say hi. So I have that image or that image, and I'm going to find a wisdom Sam to go on the other side. Which one do you think? The steampunk guy or the wood guy, I call him. The bearded guy. Which one do you guys think? A or B? Steampunk? No. Yeah. And then what I'll do is I'll stamp him out and I'll color him and he'll be on one this side or that side. I haven't decided. See, I got two steampunk guys. Okay, guy it is. So I'll stamp that out and then he'll be glued down and then I'm going to come up with the clocks in there. I think it did this past week because I got this funny part. Hey, my stepfather. Wow, my father-in-law kicked me out of his house on Saturday. He's like, I did, and I was down there and I washed all his bedding and his clothes and did the dishes, all that on Saturday. And then Scott went on and shoveled, and I sat in the house with him for a little bit. And he says, "Sweetie," and I go, "Yeah, Daddy." "Yeah, Dad." He says, "Once Annette gets here, you gotta leave. Or disrespect her. I need to spend this weekend with my children. I don't want anybody here. Nobody." He wouldn't even allow the brother-in-law in the house at all. Yeah, and I'm like, "Yeah, I know, Dad," because he didn't. He forgot that he actually told me that Friday. It's Saturday morning. I said, "Dad, once the bedding washed and dried and your bed made, I'm going home." I said, "Well, once Scott gets back in the house, I will be going home, or Annette shows up, then I'll go home." Because Scott was out shoveling because we got snow. And he's like, "Okay, don't take it personally." And I'm like, "No, we're good." And then I said, "But when can it come back?" He says, "Monday." And I'm like, "Okay." So I had a lot of time. And, me and Scott were talking, and Scott would walk down, take a break, come down here, because like I said, we're only 6 houses away. So Scott was, and then all of a sudden he'd be here just to check up on me as well. And I'm like, "You don't have to worry about me, but I don't have my companion of my cat anymore. And I haven't been feeling good, but I'm like, Scott, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So I had a lot of time on my hand. I always have time on my hand, but everything, my lawn done, the housework's done, the dishes are done. I didn't know what to kind of do. Scott's sister, she's down with him right now. She's going home today. And coming back, and Scott told her that, "Why don't you, instead of being in a rush, come back tomorrow." She's gonna, and she has to get her paperwork. So, and then me and Scott will be down there all tonight. But so I did this weekend. I did these. And I did this one, "Find Your Happily Ever After." Oh, I think I don't know if I showed you guys this one. "Hearts Away. I cast my heart to some romantic yesterday when I was young and on my own, and you were blind to everyone but me." This is a Night Ranger song, my favorite group. So I did that one. Oh, I did this. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I showed you where I left off. So I did this just black and white one because I wanted to do some, but I didn't have nothing in mind. So I did this one. "Kindness makes you the most beautiful person in the world, no matter what you look like." And I did this one. And then the Hearts Away one. No, and this is all this weekend. And I did this one, "Find Your Happily Ever After." I did these two. This is a magazine image. And I did this I did After I got back Saturday, a dragonfly. Creative activity takes courage. And then I did this one with flowers. Believe in yourself. And then I did this one yesterday sitting here. I was up at 2 o'clock, guys. 2 o'clock. You can flip it. And then, of course, today, and then I'll color this image later. I may stamp this out because I'm taking some of my coloring books and some markers down by Scott's dad's so I could just kind of chill. Because once he lays down, you're only, you're just kind of just there, and so I'll probably stamp him out, color him while I was there. And then when I have time, I'll come in and finish this page. And come up with some wisdom. I'm going to look up a saying that's kind of like, right now I can't think. Because I wanted to put something my father-in-law would say in here on this side, depending. Because I did all my father-in-law's favorite colors on this page. But at the moment, I cannot think of any wisdom sayings or something he's told me. Isn't that weird? I guess because my mind's racing a little too much. So, but I'm going to call it. But I want you guys to know, if you don't see me, it's because there's a lot going on and we're all taking turns. And Scott goes outside. I go in, he'll call me, hey, you need to walk down, because that's how we handled it until for Thursday and Friday and Saturday. And so I will let you all go. I want to thank you guys for watching and thank you for understanding. And if you could put my father-in-law in his prayers, I'd greatly appreciate. And I will talk to him, and maybe even I'll be watching you and just say hi in the chat. Or went to bed. I got home. I'm so tired, guys. I got home, took a nice hot bath, and I was in bed, and Teresa was on, so I went in and said hi, and she chatted for a little bit, and so I was doing a head bob, and so I called it a good night, and I slept till 6:30 this morning. I was surprised when I woke up, and I felt my husband next to me, and then I found a note, wake me up at 9. So I was surprised because he hasn't slept next to me for, Scott works nights anyways, but I usually, sometimes he gets home from work, I'm sleeping, I can feel him come in, and then about an hour or two after he gets home from work, I'll be getting up. But I felt the warm body next to me this morning and I'm like, When I rolled over and realized, wow, it's 6:30, I was impressed. I must have been dead ass tired that I slept that late. So, I gotta go get him up. So, thank you guys for understanding. Thank you guys for coming in here, letting me talk. 'Cause, talking out loud about what's going on in your life sometimes is very helpful. And I will reach out to Joe or Teresa, and if you don't see me, I will keep them updated and they can mention it. I gave them, I know I told Teresa it was okay. I don't know if I told Joe, but Joe, it's okay to tell everybody an update if I let you know. Even Sabrina, if I message, it's okay to let people know if they don't see me. It's because it's got really hectic already. So, as always, be happy, be kind, be safe, be funny, be crafty, and bye for now.